when you've got 90 days left till 2026, what is your game plan, right? How are you going to get the new year started off with a bang? How are you going to get the new year started right? And the only way to do this at any point in time ever is to do one thing at a time. So I want to do a lot of things, and I'm following the one thing at a time plan. All right. Let's do some introductions. Who am I? Dominique, you might already be a part of the 100 people that are currently subscribed to this channel. And if so, thank you. And thank you for knowing me in one capacity or another and following this work that we do at Off the Beaten Path Learning. Off the Beaten Path Learning is a one-on-one education company that I am the founder of. And this book right here is a recent publication, very exciting, by Dr. Gina Riley and Dr. Carlo Ritchie, that I wrote a chapter in.
So bring a good time.
Quick celebration. Now, let's move on to the topic of focusing.
The word to decide means to cut, like that. It means to cut. And so when you decide to prioritize, you are sacrificing way more than you are deciding on. I'm going to say that again. When you decide on anything, you're sacrificing more than you're deciding on. So by prioritizing, you're choosing one focus that happens before anything else can happen. It happens prior to other stuff happening, like Netflix, shopping, snacks, listening to podcasts endlessly, etc. So deciding to prioritize means cutting out everything except for that one focus and whatever is required for that one focus. And that's how you're going to transform. That's how you're going to take that one thing and maximize it into what feels infinite, priceless, much bigger than just one thing, right? How does it feel like a lot? How do we get one thing to turn into a lot? Well, actually, by focusing on one thing at a time, right? Because one thing at a time, it's not like you're doing one thing your whole life. So you're doing one thing at a time. So how we do a lot is by focusing on one thing at a time. This is my vision board from maybe this early summer of this year. And actually, I accomplished most of this list, not all of it, but most of it. You move fast. And that's what I'm starting to do, is I'm starting to move faster. I'm starting to be more consistent. And so this video is really what I'm doing as an example of how you can structure your multitude of goals under that one big umbrella, under that 90-day period that'll get you to the end of the year. In the next 90 days, what are you going to do? How are you going to spend it? How are you going to divide up your time so that you're focusing on just one thing at any given time? I hope this makes sense. Okay, so here are my goals: website, book, party, YouTube, and systems. So what's the plan? What's the plan? Sam-a-lam. First of all, continue YouTube. Just continue it. Keep going. That's then finishing the new website, that's October. Then November, finishing, no, we're finishing, right? Already started these Fridays, so about 50% done. Book. So I'm choosing, I know that I'm finishing, not to require that you start with whatever you're already doing, but just to kind of pause here to announce that you can leverage something at the beginning and get an easier win. You want to get those easy wins when you're prioritizing. So, okay, so finish the website, October. Finish the book, November. Then in December, plan the party, and late December, plan the systems, right? Systems of operations, systems of procedures, what are they called? SOPs. And I'm making decisions very quickly. And I want to shout out Arlen Hamilton here and her group, 100 Days with Arlen, because it's so crazy that right before right before Arlen announced, Arlen Hamilton, first of all, let me just hold up. Wait, Arlen, please. Let me introduce you to this audience. Arlen Hamilton is a investor, a venture capitalist, an author, three-time, I think, at this point, plus some chapters and introductions and such. So a multiple time author. So yeah, an investor, venture capitalist, an author, an entrepreneur. And her story is really amazing, really relatable to most of us. Like the vast majority of people cannot relate to the vast majority of investors. And so Arlen is not like that. Arlen is really one of a few. And so I've joined this group about 100 days with Arlen, and the idea is that you have 100 days left till the end of the year. How are you going to spend it? And so I'm choosing fast, y'all. Like I was like, yes, I'm in it. Do you see? Do you see here? But if you invest in it, right? This is not a low, for me personally, this is not a low ticket item by any stretch of the imagination. This was a high ticket item for me. But I chose to do this because I'm choosing fast, because I'm, yeah, I chose this group because I trust Arlen. I've been following her work for at least a year now, potentially more. And she's really helped me to get where I am now with the predictable revenue that I've got now. And now I just want to get this impact to more people. The work that we do, that we empower through choice, I want to get that to more people. And so I have a vision in mind of empowering more learners through choice. And I'm partly doing that through Arlen's group. If you would like to join Arlen's group, I have invited you. Dominique Bible has invited you. And here is a QR code that you can join Arlen's group and have direct access to Arlen, to her advice, to her feedback, to the group's feedback, to a great community with great accountability. Okay, so focus, have your vision, know what you're going after, and focus on that. How do you start? You know what you're going after, you have the end in mind. How do you complete it? How do you finish it? You know what you're going after, you have the end in mind. Who said that? Layla Ali. That's who I heard say that, was Layla Ali. She's world champion boxer, daughter of Muhammad Ali. Hello. So more on focusing, control the controllable, stay focused. This is from another workshop, but I thought it would be good to mention it here. Focus on the goal and ignore and reject everything else, because a reminder that saying yes to one thing is saying no to many other things. And there's the etymology of the word. Now, I do want to just take a note here and say human beings are imperfect. And so you do have to remain compassionate, because for as much as we may try and try and try, we're not always going to be able to focus. We're not always going to be able to prioritize. We are not always able to decide wisely or to decide effectively or to execute on those decisions that may or may not have been so smart. And I learned about that from Robert Sapolsky, who's a neuroscientist and a neuroendocrinologist and like a primatologist and a viscidologist. And he wrote this wonderful book that I read a part of. It's a huge book. It's called Behave, the Biology of Humans at Our Best and Worst. Robert Sapolsky. So really the point of this video was to tell you, to advise you, to remind you, and to show you my example of how to prioritize and what it means to focus on one thing at a time, and where that can lead. So the application of the one thing is, for example, a domino, just 2 inches tall. I got this example from the book, The One Thing, by Jay Papasan and Gary Keller. These are them, those are the guys. And they give this example of how a domino, even though it's just 2 inches tall, over time, if you stack it, eventually it's to the moon, and it's the whole distance to the whole moon. You multiply something enough, and a geometric progression is what it's called, a geometric progression. And eventually it's a straight line up. You barely even see this. What is that turning point? What is that? So, if you schedule with Off the Beaten Path, if you're interested in one-on-one education support for your teen or your preteen, you get 1 week free if you mention YouTube. Here's the QR code to schedule the call. The call is free, and the 1 week is free if you join. Offthebeatenpath.com for more information. And thank you so much for watching.